How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Atlanta Thrashers Dynasty Mode here on NHL 07, getting into the 2008 playoffs here in year number 2, going up against the first place Ottawa Senators. In the last one, we finished the season 43, 35, and 4 to tie the real-life Atlanta Thrashers record for most wins in a season with 43, but setting a record here in this alternate reality that we have created where we are trying to win the Stanley Cup, or at least become a consistent contending team before year 5 so that the team does not relocate to Winnipeg. The Thrashers have only made the playoffs once in the real world, losing in the first round, so we're going to try and change that, but it's not going to be easy taking on the first place team in the NHL. The President's Trophy winning Ottawa Senators went 52, 22, and 8. But here's the hopeful thing heading into this season. Before we get into the comments, at the end of last season, we had crazy point totals from our players like Pierre Turgeon, for example, at the age of 38, putting up 101 points, making his case for the Hall of Fame. But we also had some players who were injured who showed a little bit of brilliance, like Marian Hossa, who put up 78 points in 62 games. He was injured for 22 games. Put him on that same pace over an 82-game season, I believe he finishes with 103 points. Walls here, who we picked up from the Avalanche, who was injured, he was on a pace for something like 67 or 68 points. So now with a fully healthy lineup, could be a different story. Our biggest issue seems to be our goaltending, as even though Kari Lehtinen is 24 years of age and 90-some overall, he had a 3.08 goals against average. Not a huge issue in this game where most good goalies are, in that range. It was more the save percentage at 845. Now, the best goalies in this game will have, 870, 880 save percentage. That's how it is in NHL 07. But to have an 845 save percentage as a 90-some overall, meanwhile, backup 35-year-old Mike Dunham went 8-2 with a 2.39 goals against, 881 save percentage, and Lehtinen had a losing record as well, 35 and 37. So we're thinking about, does Mike Dunham start the playoffs here against the Ottawa Senators, a very, very good hockey team with Dominic Hasek between the pipes? His numbers, if you're looking at comparatively, 881 save percentage, 48 and 27, and a 2.38 goals against average. Obviously one of the best goalies in the entire game, though, even though he is at the age of 43. The Senators were lucky because they had all their best players play a full 82-game season. 88 points from Spezza, 72 from former Thrasher Danny Heatley, 66 from Daniel Alfredson, 49 Patrick Eaves goes down the list over here. So they're a similar team to us in the sense that they really rely on their stars, but they do have much better depth. It doesn't drop off a cliff. They go from 70, 60 to a lot of people with the 30s and 40s. Meanwhile, we drop off from like 100s and 90s and 80s to like 30s and 20s. So that's the difference between these two teams. It's not as much of a gap as you might think that the first and 8th place team would have. It's only 9 wins between us, and I think we have the star power, especially as a fully loaded team. Getting to the suggestions in the last one here, Vinny thinks it's a really tough decision, but I believe that Mike Dunham would not be a crazy idea to start off the playoffs if Kari Lehtinen struggles through the first few games. It's pretty much up to who you think is most reliable between the two, and the regular season would tell us that it looks like it's Dunham. Then bouncing over the Discord server here, I'm Sean Avery leads a good comment critiquing the trade a little bit that we had made last episode. It was a big one. We moved Andy Sutton, a first-round pick, and RJ Umberger to the Colorado Avalanche for Walls, John Michael Lyles, and a second. So Sean Avery thinks that even though he loves John Michael Lyles a lot, he doesn't think that it was the greatest of moves because Sutton versus Walls, 2 old players, there's little advantage, but Atlanta takes it based on the overall. Umberger and the first for John Michael Lyles and the second, huge advantage for Colorado, despite Lyles' contract, a big reason why we took him on. Would have been good with a third, but both players have huge potential upside, and the first rounder could also be a 90-plus overall player. Maybe you could have gotten a top prospect from Colorado, second-round pick, but the odds are better with a first. Now, the thing is, even though RJ Umberger has a ton of good potential and he's doing very well, the biggest reason why we made that trade was because of the finances. The Thrashers do not have a lot of money. We're not playing with a $80+ million salary cap in the year 2021-22 either, and we have expiring contracts of our biggest players in this coming off season. sorting by years left. So X will be whatever. Kozlov, maybe we could let him go, but Kovalchuk at a 98 overall is going to want an upgrade. Walls, if we re-sign him, he's going to want, but let's say we forget him. Marian Hossa at 5 million is going to want an upgrade at a 97 overall. Dempsey at an 86 overall is going to want some. Freddie Modine, if we want to bring him back as a 91 overall, he's going to want an upgrade. So right now we have whatever 3.5 million of cap space, and we could free up some more, but we really needed to free up as much as possible. And RJ Umberger was 2 or 3 million that we just couldn't afford. So although I see the argument for sure that it was a tough trade, we lost some value, it's more that we're paying for the ability to have some cap. Because Sean Avery goes on to say that we could have just tanked to get another first rounder, not send ours away, and then create a good dynasty from the draft. Now, the thing with that is, even though we missed the playoffs last year, that was kind of what we were looking for in last year's draft. We drafted Jürgen, the German, that big 97 overall potential power forward winger. We drafted some other good depth pieces. We're trying to win before the end of year 5 with this team here, not necessarily tank and move out pieces like Kovalchuk and Hossa and rebuild so that by year 7-8 we're a contender. We're trying to keep the pieces we have now, sign them, use our money, yes, get some potential, but we also are on a tight timeline. That's another reason why I used the star that the game gave me, that allows you to upgrade different elements of the dynasty mode here. That's why I use it on legal and not on rookie scouting, because the legal helps me to save 10% on contracts, while the rookie scouting gives me better assessments, things like that. But in the right here and now, we have a big offseason coming up, and I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do, so every little bit counts. And that goes into why we kept Pierre Turgeon as well, because we're trying, he just had a crazy season. If we're going to do it, it's going to be with him. So that was a big part of this franchise mode, this dynasty mode as well, which was to try and get as much success for Pierre Turgeon to put him into the Hall of Fame. Would it have been a good idea to trade him away to a better team to give him better odds of winning a Stanley Cup? Maybe, but he's had 2 good years with us here, and at full health, who knows what could happen. It could be one of those Stanley Cup Cinderella runs that Sean Avery mentions here, like the 2021 Habs, but I don't see us passing the first round, and that's fair enough. The Senators are a tough team, but all that being said, I'm very excited to hop into this one. It's not going to be like NHL 22 franchise modes where, if you go to the Cup Finals, it takes over an hour. So I do, even if we're out after 30 minutes, I do an hour of a black screen not to spoil it. The playoffs do go fairly quickly here. The games simulate quite quickly. So even if we went all the way to Stanley Cup Finals, I wouldn't see this episode being much longer than 30 or 40 minutes or something like that. So it could be a short episode, but don't let that fool you into thinking that means we're going to be out in 4 games. Just that the games do go quicker here, more quickly. Senators, Thrashers here in 1 versus 8. Hurricanes, Sabres playing 2-7. Islanders and Penguins, a good rivalry there. Bruins, Lightning. That's the Eastern Conference matchups. West, you can see Flames, Coyotes. Red Wings, Predators. Sharks, Avalanche, Blue Jackets, and Oilers. Scott's saying that if we can't make it, I'm hoping for a Senators-Coyotes Stanley Cup final, just because of how weird that would look in today's NHL. You know what? I wouldn't mind that. Coyotes 8th seed in the Western Conference. So for game 1 here in Ottawa, I think I'm going to keep Kari Lehtinen between the pipes. I know he's our guy. I know he's been struggling a little bit, but I do want to give him the opportunity to run with the playoffs here in his first ever playoff berth of his career. The leash is extremely short, I'll tell you that, but I will give him game 1. The lines will be as they are at full health here. Kovalchuk, Turgeon, Hossa, you love that first line. Second is pretty strong, Freddie Modine, Walls, and Colby Armstrong. Third, Kozlov, Yell, and Stewart. Fourth, Thornton, Kapanen, and Petrovici. It's the bottom 6 that hurts us the most. Even the second line, it's pretty average by NHL 07 standards. You would think 91, 89, and 90 is crazy in NHL 22, and it would be, but NHL 07, the overalls were very different. As you can see by our stars being a 98 instead of a 95 or whatever. Defense, Havlid and Lyles on the first pair, Janssen and Dempsey on the second, Schubert and Coburn on the third. Power plays and penalty kills are all set up. Lehtinen 90 overall, backed up by Mike Dunham. Let's see what happens here in Game 1, Round 1, 2008 postseason here in Ottawa. Trying to make up for what happened when they lost to the Ducks. Whoa, 3-1 early first period. The Senators come right back 3-2. Third period, they tied up 3-3. Final 5 minutes, nothing coming. Overtime now. And the Thrashers, Walls from Havlid and Dempsey, win it in overtime. How about that for an upset? Wow! The first period starts with a bang. Chris Neal opens up the scoring from Joe Corvo and Wade Redden. Walls scores from Armstrong and John Michael Lyles. Then his second of the night, so his winner was a hat trick. Walls scores twice. Modine scores once. That second line firing on all cylinders. Eves scores to tie it up. Sorry, Fisher, and then Alfredson ties it up. No, sorry. Fisher tied it up. Alfredson got injured with a bruised hand. Then we go to overtime where Wes Walls gets the hat trick from Havlet and Dempsey, and we win it 4-3 in game number 1. Wow, what a way to set the tone here for this series. Stefan Yell's on a cold streak. John Michael Lyles is on a hot streak. The Flames beat the Coyotes, Sharks beat the Avalanche, and Penguins beat the Islanders, all in their game 1s. You'll get an updated look at all of the playoff trees there after each game. That's wild. That is really wild. So 3 goals against, but Kari Lehtinen stood his ground. The scoring came through when the first line wasn't there. Wes Walls gets 3 goals. Love it. Let's dive straight into game 2 here in Ottawa on the road. Taking both would be amazing, but they come out early, 2-0 Senators, 4-1 after the second. Pierre Turgeon scoring our lone goal. Final 5 minutes, nothing coming. Senators were not going to go quietly on home ice there. Phillips, Eves scoring a couple there. Chris Neal, Jason Spezza down 4-0 before Pierre Turgeon stopped the bleeding from Kovalchuk and Hossa. But in the end, game misconduct for Heatley, I saw there. In the end, the Senators outshoot us 22-18, and we dropped that one 4-1 the final. 4 goals on 22 shots, not ideal. 1-1 series headed back home. I'm really inclined to give Mike Dunham a chance here between the pipes. And I think I will. After we check the mail here. Open up the mailbox. Streaks and injuries, nothing important. Stand-up goaltender, 83 overall, 35-year-old Mike Dunham. I just looked it up here to check, and I'm correct. It is going to be the first playoff game of his NHL career. The man played the NHL from 1996 to 2007, 394 appearances, but 0 in the playoffs. I'm not sure if his teams were ever in the playoffs, but he had 0 starts himself. So at the age of 35, it's been a long time coming against the first place Ottawa Senators at home for game 3 of round 1. Let's hit it. First period, 2-1 for the Thrashers. Second period, no scoring. Third period, no scoring. Final 5 minutes. And the Senators tied up late. We're headed to overtime. But in overtime, it's another winner from who is it this time? If it'll allow me to scroll up. Oh no, it didn't let me go look. It wasn't letting me scroll. Oh no, I wish I could have seen. But an overtime winner here in Atlanta for game number 3. Oh, I was trying to scroll up and it didn't work. I pressed X because I thought it meant continue to let me see the results. Oh, I saw a goal from Mike Fisher, I think, there. But hold on. Let me go look at player stats playoffs. Maybe that'll give us a better indication. But, man, another overtime thriller and a great game there from Mike Dunham. So it wasn't Walls. Maybe it was Pierre Turgeon. And maybe it was Nico Kapanen even. So the goals in that game were Hossa, Kapanen, and Turgeon, I believe. Those were the 3 goals. So one of those 3, the hero in that one. What a crazy victory. I think Mike Dunham's got to stay in at this point. We are up 2-1 over the first place team in the NHL. We're back at home again, looking to take a 3-1 stranglehold to get into the driver's seat and go back to Ottawa with a chance to finish it. Mike Dunham between the pipes. Let's keep rolling on all cylinders here. First period, Ottawa opens up the scoring 1-0. Second period, 3-0 from Redden and Fisher. Third period, 4-1. Late 5 minutes, nothing coming from that. Now it let me scroll up. It wasn't letting me before. Marian Hossa scoring the lone goal for us from Kovalchuk and Turgeon. It's a good series here, my friends. Game apiece back and forth. We're tied at 2, and now it's going to be a best of 3. Both of the Senators' losses coming in overtime. Anything change here? The Hurricanes swept the Sabres, and the Penguins swept the Islanders. Flames swept the Coyotes. All the other series are 2-2, 3-1, or anything else. Oh, man. Mike Dunham. Do we give him a night off now? He did well, then he struggled a little. Do we give him a night off? So Dunham in his 2 games, 2.45 goals against average and an .860 save percentage. Yeah, you know what? Dunham's going to stay. Lehtinen with the .829 there. Let's go. Mike Dunham back between the pipes here in Ottawa for Game 5. The fans thought this was going to be a quick series against the 8th place Thrashers. Think again. Game 5 and we're all tied up. Let's do it. First period, 1-0. It's Walls from Dempsey and Yell. Second period, Spezza ties it up. Third period, Stewart gives us the lead, and we win it in regulation this time. Is it Chris Stewart? Is it Carl Stewart? I don't even know who it is. On that fourth line from Armstrong and Modine. I'm not sure if he got pushed up in the lineup or what, that he was playing with those players. But Stewart, the most unlikely of heroes, the 79 overall, gives us the win. And now we are just one win away from upsetting the best team in the NHL. Or at least the top team in the Eastern Conference, if you want to say Calgary's up there. With game number 6 coming up now. Carl Stewart, there you go. Carl Stewart with the 94 checking and the 92 toughness and the good spirit. That's what got him through, the spirit. 69 puck control and 74 shooting accuracy, but he got it done. 24 years of age. Wow. Up 3-2 in the series now thanks to that huge goal. Armstrong's on a hot streak playing like a 95 overall. Mike Dunham between the pipes. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 6 in Atlanta for the franchise's first playoff series win ever, coming against the top team in the East. Is this the day that it happens, or are we going to 7 back in the capital of Canada? First period, 2-1 Senators, Spezza and Eves. Second period, 3-2. We're still only down by 1. Third period, Hossa ties it up 3-3. We're headed to overtime. And in overtime, the Thrashers win it in overtime. The Senators eliminated in 6 games. It's a Cinderella run. Oh my goodness. 4-3, a goal a period. And the Thrashers have eliminated the Senators in 6 games. What a series. Armstrong opens it up from Turgeon and Schubert. Spezza and Eves come right back, 2-1 game. Kozlov ties it up, the old man. Eves restores the 3-2 lead for the Senators. Hossa ties it up from Turgeon and Lyles. And then in overtime, Marian Hossa, the former Senator, from Stefan Yell and Nicholas Havilid, wins it 4-3. 3 of the 4 Senator losses coming in overtime, but it doesn't matter. Hot streak, hot streak, hot streak for everybody. Oh my goodness, what a series. The first ever series win in Atlanta Thrashers history. First ever playoff victory win. First ever playoff series victory. And now the Thrashers will be taking on the 2006 Stanley Cup champions in the real world, the Carolina Hurricanes, Penguins and Bruins over in the other series in the East. Battle of Alberta, Calgary and Edmonton, and then Detroit and San Jose. Wow. Let's take a moment to just look at all the stats after that one. The Hurricanes won 51, 21, and 10. That's a good team for sure. Current streaks, blah, blah, blah. Don't need to see that. But so, we're not out of the woods. We're playing against a team that had 1 less loss than Ottawa. 51, 21, and 10. Not going to be easy, especially after they just swept through the Buffalo Sabres. They are rested and they are ready to go. Joe Thornton, 10 points, and Alice Hemsky, both 10 points in 6 games to lead all NHL scoring here in the playoffs. But Pierre Turgeon and Marian Hossa, both a point per game. Dempsey, Kovalchuk, Lyles, Walls, Armstrong, all with 4 in 6. Modine, 3. Janssen, Havilid, Yell with 2. Kozlov, Stewart, Kapanen, Schubert, all just with the lone point. That's everybody, though, because Shane Knighty's not playing. So everybody had at least 1 point. Now, let's see the goaltending, man. Mike Dunham. What in the world? 1.93 goals against average and an .882 save percentage. That is just bonkers. That's insane. Mike Dunham leading us. Let's keep... Well, we're not going to touch anything. What's up with the Hurricanes, though? I want to see who their leading scorers are. So no one crazy running away with it. Glenn Wesley. Love Glenn Wesley. The 39-year-old defenseman. 6 points in 4 games. Stahl, Brendamore, Cole, all with point per game. Then it goes down to Brett Clark, Hedekin, Adams, Whitney, Williams. There he is. Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams. The goaltending for the Hurricanes. Cam Ward, correct. 1.60 goals against average and an .881 save percentage. He only let in 9 goals in those 4 games against Buffalo. So, oh boy, let's get ready to rumble here. Round 2, Game 1 in Carolina. Let's keep this going. They won their division. They were second in the conference. We're here for a reason, my friends. Let's keep it up and not stop for a second. Let's keep making this miracle happen. First period, scoreless. Second period, Hurricanes are up 1-0. Armstrong got injured their final 5 minutes, and the Hurricanes win it 2-0 as Cam Ward gets the shutout. Walls got a game misconduct, and Colby Armstrong got a bruised arm. dropping that one 2-0 the final. He's out for 52 days. First off, how do they know it's 52 days? Second, how does a bruised arm keep you out for like a month and a half? Like that's 5 or 6 weeks. Oh my goodness. No, what am I saying? 5 or 6 weeks. That's like 7 weeks. That's more than 7 weeks. That's 7 weeks and 3 days. I wasn't doing the math there. Until June 13th. Great. That is not what we needed to see right now. So let's fix up the lines. So Kozlov will slot into the second line, and Peter Bondra will come back into the lineup. He's an 81 overall, but he had a horrible season with he had 1 goal in 70 games. He's like 40 years old now, but he'll play third line with Yell and Stewart. Kozlov, he was an 89 overall on a hot streak, but then I put him on the second line and went back to an 84. But regardless, he's been playing well, and he'll have a big role to fill now for the replacement of Colby Armstrong. He is, 35, 36 years of age now? He's 35, 84 overall, likely in his last season with us, since we're not going to be able to re-sign him unless he's coming really cheap. So let's keep it up here. We drop game 1 on the road. We're down 1-0 in this series against the Hurricanes. Only a 2-0 game. Dunham gave us a chance, but we couldn't get the scoring going. So let's try and bounce back, tie it up, make it a best of 5, go back home with an opportunity. 1-0 Hurricanes after the first, 2-1 after 2. Third period now, we tied up. Hossa ties it up at 2. Final 5 minutes to get nothing, but in overtime, the Hurricanes take it. Oh, man. LaRose scores, then Marek Svatos scores. Havilid brings us within 1. Hossa ties it up. But then in overtime, it's LaRose from Mike Commodore and Tverdovsky. Probably not pronouncing that one right, but tough overtime loss right there. Again, a good game where we didn't let in too many goals, but the scoring has to come through. Kozlov hot streak and so does Hossa's hot streak, both coming to an end. Every series here is 1-1 except for the Hurricanes up 2-0 over us. Not much to change in the lines really. We're already pretty stretched pretty thin. We're going to need something to happen, though. If we go down 3-0, it's very, very, very difficult to come back from that. I wish I could move someone up from the third or fourth line to maybe the second line, but we are stretched extremely thin. The defense has been doing well. We just got to trust our guys and keep doing what we're doing here. So we're back at home. Ever since Game 6 when we beat the Senators in overtime, the fans have been frothing at the mouth here, foaming at the mouth, going crazy, waiting for playoff hockey in Atlanta. It's Game 3, Round 2 against the Hurricanes at home. First period, oh my goodness. Call it a day. Call it a day. 4-0 after the first. We come somewhat back in the second to score 1 goal. And then we ended 5-2 the final. Wow. That was disappointing. Is not even the word I'm looking for. That was more shocking. Maybe showing a bit of the Hurricanes showing their true colors there. The things they can just turn it on if they want to. They can just, turn it on. Turgeon from Hossa and Janssen was our first goal, and Walls from Kovalchuk and Kozlov was our second. We outshot them 25-21, but 21 goals on, 5 goals on 21 shots for the Hurricanes. Mikey Dunham, Bello, come on. Do we turn back? No, they're 7-0 right now. Do we turn back to Kari Lehtinen for game number 4? It's not going to be easy to reverse sweep this team that has not lost in the playoff yet. I don't know. Maybe if I put... let's try Modine on the first line and Kovalchuk on the second line just to try and spread the wealth a little bit. As they say in Dallas, let's do that. And Mike Dunham is going to... he'll back up Kari Lehtinen. It's also a thing that comes into play is fatigue. So I don't want to, even though Dunham's been playing better, he's been playing a lot at the age of 35 as well. So it all comes down to this. Game 4, Round 2, after taking out the Senators, which was amazing, the Hurricanes are just so strong. We're going to have to put everything we have and leave it out on the ice if we're going to have a chance in this series. First period now, 1-1 game. Second period, no scoring. Third period, come out with everything you have. There we go. It's Kapanen, 2-1, but then in the final 5 minutes ties at 3. But we take it in overtime. There we go. What a game. Stefan Yell opens it up from Kovalchuk and Havilid. Francis Caberlet scores. Tverdovsky gets injured. if you want to say Kasperi Kapanen, Nico Kapanen puts us up 2-1. We think that's it, but in the final 5 minutes, Wall scores, Vasicek scores, and then Eric Cole scores to tie it up and send it to overtime. But in overtime, it's Ilya Kovalchuk on that second line, assisted by Bondra and Stewart, the third liners. Looks like that line change was worth doing, I suppose, there as Kovalchuk gets the winner. He wouldn't have been there. And GM Data made a special call down to the head coach. Good thing he listened. We might not reverse sweep the Carolina Hurricanes, but it's great to be back in the series and give them their first loss as well. Hot streak comes to an end for Lars Janssen, but Kovalchuk and Stewart both now on a hot streak, which is great. The Flames are up 3-1 on the Oilers, Penguins up 3-1 on the Bruins, and Red Wings up 3-1 on the Sharks. Any new info here? Farm team player, Steve McCarthy. Sorry guys. Mr. GM Data, I'm working hard to turn it around. Sorry about my play. Havlet, you've been amazing. Hasn't been a good time for me recently. I know that my play's been slipping bad. I've been working hard with the coaches, putting in some extra hours, and I think you're going to see a difference real soon. Okay. Just wanted you to know that I'm taking this seriously. I won't be happy until I'm back to my old self. All right, cheers, Nicholas Havlet. All right, big boy. Let's see what you got here in game number 5 on the road. Make me proud then, Mr. Havlet. Game 5, down 3-1 in the series. Let's just take it one game at a time. 2-2 after the first. Yell and Hossa scoring for us. Nothing in the second. Nothing in the third. Final 5 minutes. And we take it. Pierre Turgeon from Marian Hossa. And we have life. We have life. 3-2 series lead for the Hurricanes now as we beat them 3-2 in game number 5. Brendamore and Cole open up the scoring, but then we score 3 unanswered. Yell from Dempsey and Lyles, Hossa from Modine and Janssen, and finally Pierre Turgeon in the final 5 minutes from Hossa. Wow. 3-2 victory. How about those Atlanta Thrashers? Marian Hossa day to day with the flu. He's going to have to play through it. It's the flu game. Come on, MJ. He's going to have to play through it. Let's see. What does that bring us overall down to? It's pretty significant. Down to an 87 from a 97? Yeah, significant. But I'm sorry, I need you out there, Marian. Monthly financials. We're the 30th ranked team. Fantastic. Even though we're doing well. Those tickets should be flying. Okay. Carry Lettons between the pipes. We took down the Senators in 6. We dropped 3 in a row against the Hurricanes. We win the last 2. Game 6, back at home. Game 6 was what won it for us against the Senators. This is going to be another big Game 6 at home. The fans have to be out here in droves. A win, and we push it to 7 back in Carolina. A loss, and we lose, and we end the series in 6 games. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit it. Game 6 in Atlanta. First period, 3-0 Hurricanes. Second period, 3-1, we're back in it. Third period, no scoring. Final 5 minutes. 4-2 the final. And the Carolina Hurricanes have eliminated the Atlanta Thrashers in 6 games of the Eastern Conference semifinals. What a series, though. This team has fight. This team has fight and potential. Cole, Brendamore, and Brendamore. 3 unanswered in the first. But then Kozlov on that second line with Kovalchuk and Modine. Third period, it was Pierre Turgeon. Do not go gentle into that good night, Pierre Turgeon. Come back for one more. And Stahl ices it, likely on an empty net. 4-2 the final. Hot streak's coming to an end. We gave the Hurricanes their 2 losses, but they're off to the Eastern Conference Finals, likely against the Penguins. It looks like it's going to be Flames and Red Wings in the Western Conference Finals. We did our best. We really did our best. Let's see the player stats here in the end. Oh, man. Jonathan Chichu killing it for the Sharks. Him and Thornton. So Pierre Turgeon led the team, of course, with 11 points in 12 games. Both Hossa and Kovalchuk had 10 points apiece. Kovalchuk went from sniper to playmaker with 1 goal and 9 assists. Walls, 6 goals and 7 points in 12 games. 37 years of age. He was great. John Michael Lyles had 5 points in 12 games. Love to see that. Freddie Modine had 5, Dempsey 5, Yell with 2 goals, 2 assists, Colby Armstrong 4 points in 7 games. That's what really hurt us. Janssen 4, Kozlov 4, Havlet 4, Coburn, Stewart, Kapanen all with 2, and Scott Thornton with 1. Petrovicki also with 1. Bondra, there you go, 1 point in 5 games. Schubert 1. The goaltending though, take a bow, Mike Dunham. Wow. 2.52 goals against average, 852 save percentage. Numbers came down a bit at the end, but we wouldn't have won without him against the Senators. Lettinen gave us a good fight, though. He really woke up against the Hurricanes. 2.65 goals against and 848 save percentage for Kari Lettinen. Wow. What a playoff run. That was a fun one, I do have to say. That was a good one. Let's sim the next round of the playoffs here. I don't think we have much else to do here. We'll see the results in the playoff tree. So the Hurricanes sweep through the Penguins. Something to be said about beating them twice then. And the Red Wings take down the Flames in 7. Wow. So the Hurricanes and the Red Wings, the number 2 seeds in their respective conferences, now duking it out for the Stanley Cup here in 2008. So we'll see if history repeats itself here as we sim to the end of the playoffs. Will the Red Wings once again be 2008 Stanley Cup champions? This time against Carolina, though, not against Pittsburgh. And they are. The Detroit Red Wings are the league champions. Last team standing here in the Atlanta Post, June 1st, 2008. Congratulations to the Detroit Red Wings. I'm just curious who is on that team. I saw at one moment that Sheldon Surrey was on that team, so great to see him getting a Stanley Cup. Who are some other players who got themselves a Stanley Cup here on Detroit? Zetterberg, Datsuk, Lindstrom, Robert Lang, Filppula, Surrey, Kronwall, Holmstrom. So many legends here. Pierre Dagenet, wow. Franzen, Chelios. This is Maxime Lapierre, wow. Yuri Hudler. Great team. Kyle Quincy, Brett Lebda. I'm curious here, who was the starting goaltender for the Stanley Cup winning team? Manny Legacy, legend, backed up by Chris Osgood, and even a little bit of David Abisher. Jimmy Howard out here as well. Wow, what a team for Detroit. Congratulations on that 2008 Stanley Cup championship. We got some mail over here. What's up? Whoa, what's up? Injury summary, don't care. You need to improve the strategic coaches. I've met with some players, and most of them think that the team needs to upgrade strategically. They think that this could be the team much needed boost. What do you think? Okay, well, give me some ability to upgrade, and I will upgrade. Farm team player, Steve McCarthy, yeah, league champion. From all of us here, congratulations to the Red Wings awards. Did we win some awards here? Hold on. No, it just tells you each one. Okay, so actually, I want to scroll through that on the awards page. End of year report. That's what we care about the most here. Team, league, blah, blah, blah. All right. Dear Mr. GM Data, yearly financial statement. I know it will come as no surprise to you, but the team's financial performance over the past season has fallen well below our expectations. Even a high-level review of expenses and revenues will indicate where most of the red ink has been spilled. I trust this information will assist you with your planning for next season. Yours truly, Jason Hewson. So there it is, ranked number 30. Profit is $27.6 million. We generated $87.6 million revenue. The salary wasn't even at the cap, but average attendance of 15,620 is likely what hurt us a little bit. How do you get that to go up, though? That's the thing. You just have to have a better team? I don't know. But hopefully they should be happy with us. Not only did we get the most wins in franchise history, we won the first ever playoff series in franchise history. So Red Wings win the Stanley Cup here in 2008. The heart goes to Alex Tanguay. What a legend here on the Flames. Art Ross also going to Alex Tanguay. Maurice Richard to Alex Tanguay. James Norris going to Andrew Ference. Calder Memorial to Sergei Apsitis, who I think is just a generated prospect. Vezina to Cam Ward. Lady Byng to Alex Tanguay back-to-back. Frank J. Selke, Brendan Morrison, legend. Conn Smythe to Henrik Zetterberg, Jennings to Cam Ward, Masterton to Ryan Smith, love it. Lester B. Pearson, which is the equivalent of the Ted Lindsay, I believe. Alex Tanguay again. Jack Adams to Gerald Sutter, coach of the Flames. President's Trophy to the Flames. Wales to the Hurricanes. Campbell to the Red Wings. And there we go. There are your 2007-2008 NHL awards. We can now trade players, huh? So that's the thing. We might want to think about trading some expiring contracts. So I'm not going to advance now. I'll go ahead and stop there and ask you what you think we should be doing heading into the off-season. Yeah, you know what? I will continue the off-season because there could be some more information that comes up. Do I want to sim to draft, though? Because even on upgrades, if they don't give me anything else, I may as well do that. May as well sim to the draft. Yeah. You won't be able to save your progress until the entire draft is completed. Okay, I don't want to continue to the draft, so I will stop there. Final decision. Looking at the contracts here, if we take out the trusty calculator, currently $40.85 million is the team's salary. So years left here. So let's say we do let Exelby go, 73 overall. We can remove 0.6. Steve McCarthy, another 0.8. McEachran, we probably let him go, remove 1.3. Walls, I'd like to keep him. Thornton, we probably let him go, remove another 1.7. Schubert, I'd like to keep him, but I'm going to take him off for the moment, 1.8. Dempsey, I'd like to keep him. Modine, I'd like to keep him. Kozlov, probably not, so take off 2.7. Bondra, not, so 0.5. So that leaves us 31.45 million. So 44.15 minus 31.45 leaves us with 12.7 million. 12.7 million. Let's say we give a $2 million upgrade to Ilya Kovalchuk. Well, what's he asking for right now? Probably a lot of money. Yeah, he wants 8.8. He won't take much less than that. So let's say we do give like whatever, a $2-3 million upgrade to Ilya Kovalchuk. And Marian Hossa is going to want something similar. If he's currently making 5, I'm sure he would want the 8.5 range. No, 7.48. So another 2.5 upgrade to him. That leaves us with 7.2 million to try and re-sign Freddie Modine. He wants another 2.2 upgrade or so. That leaves us with 5 million now. So with that 5 million, where was Dempsey? We wanted to re-sign Dempsey. He's making 1.8. Now he wants 2.7, so another million. So, you know, that would leave us with about 4 million to fill out the bottom 6 and whatever the third pair. If Schubert and Kozlov and Thornton and McCarthy are all leaving, and Walls as well, making 1.7. He'd want, okay, only another 300K. That leaves us with like 4.5 million or so if the salary cap doesn't go up to kind of fill out those spots that we're missing out on. So who should we be definitely letting go? Who are the number one priorities to re-sign? And what positions should we be looking to change in this upcoming free agency period if we're going to be players in that time as well? Should we try and trade some players? I'm not sure if you can trade the rights to players in NHL 07 here. If I try to make a trade, they say no, they have an expiring deal. And if you're curious about the potentials that we have on this team right now, John Michael Lyles, 99 potential. Same for Kovalchuk. Hossa 98, Jurgen, our first round draft pick last year, 95 overall potential, but he's currently a 69. Armstrong 96, Stanislav Soyev, another player that we drafted, 68 right now, but has potential to go to 89. Havlid 90, Turgeon is at a 90. Will he retire? I'd love to bring him back for more. No other really crazy potentials after that. And remember that for the goaltending, although he wasn't great, Lettinen does have the potential of 95. While Dunham was playing above his head, so I'm not sure if he'll revert back or if we bring him back as backup once again. We'll see what the goalie situation has for us in free agency. But let me know your thoughts on all of that headed into the 2008 off season. Year number 1, missed the playoffs. Year number 2, good success. That leaves us now with years 3, 4, and 5 to convince the Atlanta Thrashers ownership, the city of Atlanta, the fans, that this is a team that is here to stay and should not and will not be moving to Winnipeg. So thanks so much for watching. It was a fun playoff run. I hope you enjoyed it because I most certainly did. If that was the case, then be sure to leave a like and do consider subscribing as well. You'll be made aware of all the uploads for this series, the NHL 22 series, the FIFA 22 series, and much more, as well as other series going on the Twitch channel. Link in the description for that. Speaking of links in the description, also check out the Discord server where you can talk more about these series, your own franchise modes, sports, and everything else in between. We would love to have you stop by. Once again, thanks for watching. It was a fun one. I look forward to reading and incorporating all your thoughts, so I will see you in the next one.